The crypto market structure itself is very unique and it's very different than traditional finance. For those of you who come from traditional finance, you probably know a lot of this already. If you look at US, whether it's securities market structure or CFTC market structure, there's actually a lot of companies in the middle doing different things. If you are a US citizen and you're on, let's say, Fidelity, and you're trying to trade 5 Amazon shares, Fidelity is not an exchange. Fidelity is a broker. If you raise your hand and say, hey, New York Stock Exchange, can you create an account for me? Me, the retail user that want to trade on your exchange, they're going to laugh you out of the room. Of course you cannot create an account at an exchange. That's not how it works. You create accounts at a retail broker, and the broker works with the exchange. Underneath, you have like the clearing entities, the transfer agents, when you actually have to transfer the would-be securities between owners. And over here, you have another broker, right? You have another client. So there's actually a lot of stuff in the middle here to make all this work. The entire remaining US equity system doesn't just collapse. There's so many redundancies in place. There's a lot of choice for buyers and sellers. And more choice means more competition, which means it's good for everybody. The system deals with malicious activity like front running, etc. And all this complexity is actually to protect the end consumer. All right, so that's traditional finance. Now let's talk crypto. How does it work in crypto? Step one.
Exchange.
Step one, I create a Coinbase account. Step two, done.
Weird.
Like all the stuff that I mentioned in the middle, all the redundancy, all the protection, all of this stuff, it's boiled down to a single company. There's a single company in the middle with the order book. They're onboarding clients on this side. They're onboarding clients on that side. Maybe I'm selling to you directly on the exchange. Crypto's unique, right? It instantly settles. It instantly clears. A lot of it is pre-funded trading. It may seem simple, but with the simplicity comes with risk. It really does, right? There's instances in the past, I'm not going to name any names, whereby certain exchanges would halt withdrawals.
Yes.
That's
actually market manipulation.
From the client perspective, from the user perspective, that's scary.
Yes.
I have $100,000. I have my life savings on that exchange, and the exchange just stops withdrawals. And there's instances of this in the past whereby one of the key lieutenants in the company, they got stopped by border control, and one of the key pieces of key material that's needed to unlock more of the quote-unquote cold storage funds is in their pocket, right? This guy has this key literally in his pocket, right? And this is actually very, very scary. So what's the solution? The solution is, how do we bring some of this goodness from traditional finance in? How do we really build market structure in a way that protects the consumer? Like, one obvious solution is, all right, why don't we actually separate the responsibilities between exchanges and custodians, right? Let the custodian do their job of protecting the assets, and let the exchange do their job trading the assets, right? And you can go down this path to add more redundancy. So we work with exchanges, as you know, for this exact purpose. Like there's been instances in the past whereby XYZ exchange has been hacked or compromised, etc. We step in as the custodian to help them protect their assets. They do their job, we do our job. We are bringing more redundancy and reducing risk in this would-be structure.
So not all the middlemen are bad guys.
Right.
I mean, well, in crypto, we have this kind of like a notion that, clearing the middleman is the most important thing.
It's actually kind of ironic, right? Like, crypto is all about decentralization. It's all about distributed ledgers. It's about autonomy, et cetera, et cetera. And if you think about where all the action is happening right now, it's happening on exchanges. And if you pause and look at what the exchange is, the exchange underneath is running a centralized database.
Right.
And it has
Ironically.
they have all your money, right? They have all the power, all the control. There's different things that people talk about. Tax law is something that is very top of mind, especially for retail. Am I paying taxes or am I not? AML, CFT controls. You have travel rule. You have stable coin regulation, CBDC. If you look across these dimensions at some of the world's largest countries, I would say most countries in this top list have clarity around taxes. CBDC is super interesting. Every country is talking about CBDC. The country that actually has something is actually China. And they launched their digital yuan, I think, a while back. Not exactly sure how it's doing. But if you look at China, actually, what's interesting, besides the CBDC, every other dimension, it's banned across the board. I mean, there are great regulators in the US. We love our regulators. There are other regulators that are, I would say, like, my summary here is they're leaning more towards enforcement, right? Versus actually like, all right, coming up with a framework, starting the rule-making process, working with the industry to define how things should work, right? Instead of doing that, they're just jumping straight to, all right, let's prosecute the bad actors, which is fine. But we need more of the former as well. So US is on that list. I would put China on that list as well, because like they just took this very draconian stance, no crypto, and follow through. It's if you look back at the top exchanges around the world, whether it's Binance or OKEX, these were Chinese entrepreneurs innovating in China. They moved to Hong Kong and then moved finally overseas because of these regulatory changes. So definitely controversial.